To have you on the show, Scott.
Great to be here, Al.
Now, our industry expert for this segment is Bob Gill, President of the Product Development and Management Association. Welcome to the show, Bob. We're delighted to have you.
Thanks, Al. It's nice to be down here today.
Now, Bob, what is the fuzzy front end and why does it need clearing up?
Well, Al, it goes back probably over the last 10 years or so, where companies have focused on primarily on reducing the time to market by putting in place what we call phase gate or stage gate processes. And while clearly that has reduced conservatively time to market for products between 30 and 50% reduction, what it hasn't addressed is the issues and the ideas coming into the new product development process. So what happens is if you have bad ideas going in, you just get them out there faster. So the fuzzy front end has been termed because it's chaotic, it's complex, it's not a structured process like a development process. We need to take a look at the impact of your business strategy, understanding your market and your customer, understanding your technology as a way to get at the issue.
Very good. Now your turn, Scott. How does the CPSB help companies to accomplish this?
Our method is based on quite a bit of research that helps it focus on the ambiguous, messy, and chaotic kind of tasks that face organizations. So it's natural for our method to have a good fit for the fuzzy front end. What we look at is getting out to the customers to feed that process to make sure we know about what the needs are, the unmet, unknown needs that can help feed the new product development process.
Very good. Now for more, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
The business environment of the new millennia is, to say the least, complex. It isn't just that C-level executives and project managers are facing new challenges, they're facing new challenges in new combinations. For many, the time has come to call in the cavalry to help learn how to solve these new problems in a creative manner.
The Creative Problem Solving Group is a professional services firm that builds on a 50-year tradition of research and development on creative problem solving. Our version of CPS is a change method that taps into both the hard and the soft technologies to help individuals and groups achieve clarity on their problems, opportunities, and challenges, generate ideas that are both new and useful, and then take these ideas, develop concepts, and take action.
The upshot of this is not only a refined new product development process, but a realization of the unmet and unarticulated needs of the subject company's customers.
The Creative Problem Solving Group helped us, I think, change our product development process in two key ways. We already had a very rich tradition of product innovation, but it needed to be jump-started after a period of very intense focus on operational excellence. So the two key ways they helped us, first was in helping us generate a richer culture of idea generation, and then secondly, helping us turn those ideas into real solutions that our customers just couldn't live without.
Creative problem solving really helped us realize the unmet needs and unarticulated needs of customers through a process where we would look at the central problem that we thought we had, and then following through on the research allowed us to understand that there are unassociated, seemingly unassociated problems that, when explored, helped us to realize the connection between these unassociated and the primary issues.
The bottom line for success in business today is the ability of a company to find new opportunities and innovations that will support their business in good as well as in volatile markets. For World Business Review, this is Bruce Gaster.
Now, Bob, how do companies like CPSB typically change the new product development cycle of companies like the one we just saw?
Well, Al, what we see here is really extending the product development process from a narrow area which used to be from just idea generation through launch, and really moving up front, focusing on the customer, understanding their needs, and ultimately translating those needs into product requirements that will give you a better product in the marketplace. Yeah. So Scott, as we think about the work you've done with Datex Omeda, what were some of the benefits that you saw that dropped to the bottom line?
There were three main benefits that happened relatively soon from our work with Datex Omeda. One was a jump in revenue. The second, of course, was a jump in profitability. And the third was an increase in market share. But there were also increases internally and benefits internally, which was, as you mentioned, expanding the new product development process to include more than those who just traditionally belong to that process.
Well, now, Scott, how did the Datex-Omeda relationship start in the first place? And can you tell us more about its beginning and how it evolved?
A few years ago, we were approached by a change agent within the research and development area who was surveying what's new, particularly in the fuzzy front end. As a result of that search, we went in and did some work with the senior management group and helped them get a picture of what their climate for innovation was like. The management team looked at this information. There were some really good pieces of information, good news, if you would, but also some challenges that they identified. They worked on those challenges, clarified a vision, and started to create an environment that was much more conducive to people taking initiative. From there, we were able to work with some very good people in-house who had some ideas about how to use our method to gain some consumer insight.
Yeah. Scott, can you tell us a bit more about this CPS 6.1 and how usable is this approach?
The method itself is, as I mentioned earlier, is based on a 50-year tradition of research. What's different is that we don't believe that there's any magic single tool or method, that any method has to be adjusted and modified based on the people that are using it, the situation that you're finding yourself in, and more specifically, the kind of need that's being addressed. So our system takes into account those aspects before we deliver a design process for application.
Now, Scott, is CPS 6.1 a quick fix for an organization today?
No, Al, it's not. There are some tools that are easily learned and applied and even put into technological kind of a means to use. But essentially, to use the method well, it requires that there be appropriate leadership in place, that there be a climate that allows for the effective use of the method, and that some homework is done on preparing the task and the need so the method can be used more powerfully.
Scott, what are some of the common pitfalls that companies make when working in the fuzzy front end of new product development?
I think the major pitfall that most companies fall into is to think that they have all of the understanding about the consumers and begin to generate product ideas and concepts on their own without looking deeply or well enough on the outside. I think the biggest pitfall is avoiding the consumer and the customer and kind of suffering through the process of figuring out what those needs really are. And beyond what they tell you what the needs are, what are those unarticulated needs that help us design new products?
As engineers, we always try to just jump to solutions, so yeah. I can appreciate it.
Now, Scott, give us a picture of how CPSB approaches new product development.
Well, as you could see in the Datex example, I think we look first at the organizational context. How well is it doing in its history of innovation? We look at the kind of leadership that's at hand. We look at the climate and the conditions that are in the organization. And then where is the best place to lever the method? Yeah. In this case, it was quite clear that they had excellent technology, smart people, good leadership, good vision. The need was to really get out and figure out where some of the gaps were in the marketplace. And that's typically where we like to start. We like to start in the fuzzy front end.
Scott, everybody's talking about innovation these days. That's the buzzword. So can you take a minute and tell us how CPSB can differentiate its offerings in this dense marketplace?
Yeah, you're right. Innovation has come back as being a really hot topic. But I think CPSB will differentiate itself in the market in a couple of key ways. First and foremost, it's our commitment to research, and research on creativity, understanding the source of innovation, and then a very keen focus on helping our clients meet the innovation challenge and the learning that can come from bridging the research and the application.
Scott, what are some of the more common challenges companies face that drive them into going to a consulting solution?
Typically, in product development or in other areas where creativity and innovation are required, one function comes forward as being the dominant function. It could be research and development, or it could be marketing. And of course, there's a language, and there's a history, and there's a culture that comes with those functions. What CPSB does is uses its methods to get to a common language and to a common understanding that works better across functions. This is very critical because as any one function dominates, you can alienate the involvement of other functions that are necessary to get new products and services out to market.
Scott, can you